A very good morning. EURUSD yesterday saw a daily bearish candle close, but it was an inside bar, meaning that the market was just ranging in between the previous daily high and daily low. So where is the market heading next? Well, first of all, based on the daily, we should still head down lower. The overall daily high has still been respected. We've only grabbed liquidity above that high, but for the rest, we have not yet closed above it, meaning that there is not yet a break of structure. For now, this is just the liquidity grab, which should fuel a move down lower. However, let's dive into towards the lower time frame and see if the lower time frame agrees with us, because on the 4-hour time frame, what can we see over there? Well, obviously the 4-hour time frame is still bullish in the sense that this is your high, this is your higher high, this is your low, this was your other higher low, and this is now again your higher high. So as we can see, the market has decided to pull back in towards the downside. If we just quickly draw in our premium versus discount tool, we can see that the market still has some room to fall a little bit lower. Let's put it that way. Now, yesterday I mentioned that this was your daily fractal low, right? So the low of this bullish candle is the protected low for now on EURUSD. If that low were to break, I would be far more confident in the potential that EURUSD has in order to move down lower in towards, let's say, this area of demand over here. Now, the 4-hour is not that interesting in my personal opinion. Obviously, this area of demand was already tapped into at the beginning over here with this wick. And for the rest, we've already been, let's say, ranging now for a few hours already since yesterday morning London session, and we haven't really moved anywhere, right? So when you have an area of demand, what you want to see is just boom, in and out. That indicates that there is actual demand within that zone, but for now we're just consolidating inside. So now what I'm looking for is a potentially a further drop in towards the downside. Now, what could happen this morning? Two options. Either we just liquidate this 4-hour low, in my opinion, and then see a reversal. If we then break the fractal high, I will be looking for a potential long play in line with that 4-hour, because the 4 hours is my main trading time frame, guys. Obviously, I mentioned on the daily, okay, we are bearish, but if the 4-hour time frame to me indicates that we're moving up higher, I will trade with the 4-hour time frame, because that is my trading time frame. So if that happens, potential longs. But if that does not happen, what will then happen? Well, then we'll push most likely below this 4-hour fractal low, and then I will be looking for a further short back down in towards this area of demand. So that is for now the game plan on the 4-hour. Now, looking at the 15-minute time frame, what can we see over there? Well, that kind of bias that we had yesterday when the market was trading over here was correct. We can very clearly see that the market pushed down lower in towards that lower area of demand on the 15. That is where we found support. And inside of that area of 15-minute demand, what happened? Well, we actually saw a change of character, guys. So we saw a change of character on this high over here. So this is the high which broke this low. Actually, even you had this low broken as well, and this was the fractal high. So over there you had a fractal change in structure inside this 15-minute area of demand. Then what happens is that we form a new area of demand on this imbalance, and from there the market decided to reverse back in towards the highs. However, what we can very clearly see is that there was not a lot of volume. We started stalling inside of these imbalances over here, these two imbalance candles. And what happened is that the market started to push back downwards, inside of that area of supply. So the market is kind of like, let's say, stuck in between this area of demand and this area of supply. And that is also what I kind of mentioned. I'm just waiting, guys, to see, are we going to break through this area of demand? Because then there's no demand here to our left anymore. And I do anticipate then that the market will just continue down lower. Or are we going to break above this area of supply? And then I anticipate that the market will push up higher and, for example, grab the liquidity above this area of consolidation / supply. So that's what I'm kind of looking at on your dollar for your information. Now, looking at the dollar index, guys, what are we seeing over there? So starting off here on the dollar index on the 4-hour, we can see that we've actually, and this is not supposed to happen, we can see that we've actually broken above this 4-hour fractal high, guys. Wow. So that means that this area of supply is not valid anymore. And it indicates to me that this is now, let's say, the fractal break, and this is now the fractal low, which should be respected, guys. And the fractal low is just a low that should be respected. Don't make it too complicated, meaning that this is our area of demand. So that demand zone broke this supply zone. So now if we see that the dollar index pushes back down lower, which it could this morning, then I'll be looking for potential long from that dollar index, 4-hour zone. And then we will look for a long in towards, of course, daily supply, guys. That is a daily supply, which I also mentioned in yesterday's video. Now moving on into Aussie dollar, what has happened over there? So we can see the daily is starting to pull back, harder and harder, obviously after liquidating the low over here, which is not entirely weird. Obviously, if we look at the overall swing, there was still room to push up higher. Now, what I'm already looking at is something pretty interesting, and you can kind of see all of these wicks. And now if you focus on the 4-hour time frame, what you'll then see is that we have these equal highs. And I mentioned this about the equal highs in yesterday's video, where we have kind of like this trend line liquidity situated over here, right? So we have this obvious trend line pushing down the highs, meaning we have lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. So where are the stop losses based? They're based above these lower highs. We have a clean area of supply over here. So what I'm now looking actually to achieve is maybe one more long on Aussie dollar, long it in towards this area of supply, and then from there we look for that potential short play, okay? So that is for now my game plan. At the moment, we have this area of demand over here, and this is our demand zone and 4-hour zone, which should push price up higher, okay? So from here, we should push in towards this next area of supply. That is just simple order flow, okay? So this area of demand broke this area of supply. So this is a takeout zone, so now I'm looking for this. If we break this, then I will again be looking for a potential short. But for now, looking for longs in towards this supply zone, taking out all the liquidity. So liquidation of all of these highs, push in towards supply, push in towards 50%, and then from there, look for a short. So that's Aussie dollar. Now going into pound dollar, what are we seeing over there? So pound dollar pushed down actually extremely beautifully yesterday, in line with the expectation. You guys heard it in yesterday's video. As long as we respect this high, the black line is still there, we should continue down lower. This was daily supply. Daily supply just pushed price down lower beautifully. Obviously, we have also got the 1, 2, 3. And then order flow being bearish, beautiful play on the daily. And obviously there was also still room for that daily swing leg to continue down lower. And you can see where is price now stalling, guys, exactly at that 50% mark. Wow. So we're now inside daily demand. We're now inside that 50% mark. So we now have some more confirmation that we could start slowing down a bit. What I'm looking for now is just to see what the 4-hour will do. Like, if we zoom out a little bit, then obviously you can still see daily is bearish with this swing high, this swing low. This is one push down. This is the overall correction, right? Before you then should push down lower based on technical analysis. Then go in towards the 4-hour. 4-hour for now is still in a bearish modus, guys. So still bearish on the 4-hour, still bearish order flow wise on the daily. So still interested in shorts. But we have already pushed down lower. This was obviously the region to short from. Now we've seen a 4-hour BOS. We could still push down lower because this demand zone pretty much just filled. You can see we already spiked through it. This is a stronger area of demand over here. So this area of demand over here. So I would still be interested in just, a lower push on GBPUSD. But then obviously you just need to trade with the overall 15-minute order flow. So let's see what happens. I would preferably wait for kind of like a double break on GU, meaning let's see if we can push down lower, then one more break, and then I'll look to get in that short from this area of supply, just to get a double break, not just, let's say, short now in towards downside, because for me that is just a little bit too risky with where we are currently at in the market. Now going in towards NZDUSD, what are we seeing there? So NZDUSD actually pushed up higher. Yesterday I was looking for a potential short. Obviously the NZDUSD is bearish from this high in towards this low. We pulled back in towards the 50% mark. Now yesterday we did have kind of like this area of supply, so I was looking for a short. Let's cut it short and go into the 15. So we go into the 15. I was looking for a short from this area of supply. However, never really gave me an entry model. I was looking for the 15-minute change of character. Push down, boom, boom, right? But you can see this was the fractal high over here. And then we had this fractal low. So at this point in time, I was waiting for this to happen. but it didn't happen, so no short opportunity for me. And then you can see the market just continues to move up higher. That is why I never really just short randomly from an area of supply. I always wait for confirmation. So with that said, yeah, we're now just pushing up higher. So where are we going to stop pushing? Well, obviously it could happen anywhere. Personally, in my opinion, like there's a lot of supply zones. Like here you have some supply, here we had some supply, but didn't really do anything. So I'm now looking pretty much at this imbalanced candle over here. Strongest area of supply would just be, let's say, this overall buy before the sell, this stronger one. Let's see, maybe if we can just see a little push higher and then a 4-hour change of character inside that area of supply, that would be ideal on NZDUSD, and what I would also prefer to short from. Also looking at the daily, just a little bit higher is what I would prefer, and then inside that daily area of supply, look for a short. So that's NZDUSD. Then we look for gold. So gold is stalling a little bit. It pushed down a little bit lower yesterday. Yeah, in line with overall order flow, I would say. Like, let's just put it very simple. This is kind of like your buy before the sell. We tap in and we move back down again. I was looking for potential a little bit higher prices, but didn't really move very nicely yesterday. A little bit choppy. Preferably, we would see a liquidation of this low and then reversal back in towards the highs again. But for now, let's focus on the 1 hour time frame and the 15-minute time frame. 1 hour time frame this morning. Yeah, I mean, actually gold is just not really that interesting. We can very clearly see lower low, lower low, lower high, lower high. So looking for any longs at the moment is just a little bit risky. Preferably, I would just want to see one push down, get this as the high in, and then start looking for those longs again after liquidating this low. And then we go long from the lows over here with the optimal risk to reward back in towards the highs. Because just longing from here, obviously, we're, let's say, trending downwards for now. It is a little bit risky. Or what you want to see is, let's say, breaking these highs and then get kind of like a double break, and then we look for that long, just for the additional confirmation that we're not just grabbing liquidity above this high and then we're just going to crash down again. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, make sure to ask them in the comment section down below or join Discord, link description down below, and see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.